What's up, guys? Cody here today with patch 8.15. So, we're going to take a look at this patch. And yeah, it's a small patch, but there's still a lot of important things to talk about in here. First off is the Akali rework. And yeah, it's probably not a balanced champion. So, first off, Akali has an ability that makes her untargetable by even turrets. So, yep, you can't attack her. And when she uses that, she gets energy back. And yeah, so she gets energy back, can't be hit, and can wait for her cooldowns to be back up before she goes back in. Fun. She also has an ability that can follow you anywhere when she's hit you with it. Yeah, so have fun getting out of that. Oh, wait, you can't. Yeah, once she hits you with that, she's just gonna stick on you forever. And then she has an ability that heals her, which is pretty broken when you add the fact that she's gonna get a gunblade. And if you were thinking, oh, well, how do you know she's gonna get a gunblade? It's because she has AD and AP ratios in her kit, so yeah, she's 100% gonna get a gunblade. Her ultimate's the only thing that's not super broken in her kit. The stun part is kind of broken depending upon the setup and whatnot. But her ult's the most balanced part of her kit. She dashes one way, stuns people, dashes back the other way, and it's like an execute or something. Yeah, so for the most part, I don't think she's gonna be balanced. I think that she's gonna be super annoying to play against. If you have her on your team, she'll feed, and like most assassins in the game, if she doesn't get ahead early game, then she won't really excuse me. If she doesn't get ahead early game, then she won't really do anything. It's an assassin, she's got a snowball. But if she does start to snowball, then yeah, expect to just never kill her. Yeah, the only thing that's nice about her compared to other assassins is that she can't roam as good as well as the other assassins. She's not as mobile as them. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, unbalanced champion, just ban her right now, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Okay, so on to actual important changes. Fiddlesticks is getting nerfed. It's mostly, this nerf is directed at support Fiddlesticks. The damage on his E is being decreased by 5, but his cost for it is being increased by 20 mana. This is pretty significant. It's going to mean that Fiddle can't just spam his E all day down in bot lane. And yeah, overall, the damage decrease doesn't really mean anything. It's just the cost being up 20 rank 1 is pretty significant. Fizz is getting a pretty significant buff. His W damage is being increased. More importantly, his ult damage is being increased. The smallest form of his ult, the one where he throws it literally right on top of you, that now has a 90% AP ratio instead of a 60% AP ratio. So yeah, that's going to be doing a lot of damage now. A lot more damage. And yeah, with assassins being super meta right now in solo queue, and with the ability that they can just solo carry a game if they get ahead, because they can 100-0 you in less than a second. Yeah, Fizz is probably gonna come back into the meta now, and yeah, just hopefully he's not too scary. But yeah, expect to see a lot of Fizz. Lilias is getting buffs and nerfs this patch. They're making it so that they want her to auto attack more, so they're increasing her base AD and they're increasing the damage that her passive does. At the same time, they're also decreasing how much damage her abilities do and slightly decreasing the range of those abilities as well. So nothing too major. If anything, this is a nerf. But yeah, against tanks, Aurelia is gonna do better now, I think, just because her passive and her auto attacks just in general do more damage. Kindred is getting a nerf. Her W, Wolf's attack speed, is down by 25%, so it's been cut in half. More importantly, her ult cooldown is up by 20 seconds at all ranks. This is a pretty significant nerf. And yeah, that's it'll help tone back Kindred a tad bit, but she'll still be pretty good. Lee Sin is getting a really good buff. They've lowered the damage on his Q, but they've upped the AD ratio, and they've made it so that his ultimate, that number just changed. Wow, okay, so that the execute damage now goes up to 100% increased damage based on target's missing health, so it can now heal up to double damage. That number was 50%, and I guess they just updated this page. So that's a little weird to look at now. But whatever. That's a really good buff. Lee Sin, in my opinion, was already like seeing a rise in play rate, and I think this is just going to be really good. It's going to just make him a lot more meta, and yeah, I think he's probably going to be on the scale where he can compete very efficiently with other junglers right now. Morgana is getting a nerf, thank God. It only took this long to get a Morgana nerf. Her mana regen is getting nerfed. This is so that way she can't just continuously spam W during the lighting phase. Black Shield mana cost is also being increased to kind of just double whammy her with the nerfs, so she can't spam her W as much anymore, and if she does, then she might not have enough mana for her spell shield. So yeah, she's still going to be super viable just because of her kit in general, but she's just going to have to be a lot more careful, a lot more conservative about how she uses her mana now. Olaf is getting a buff. It doesn't mean anything. He's getting an extra 15% attack speed on his W. It's whatever. It doesn't mean anything. He's probably not going to be meta still. Quinn is getting a nerf. The major thing here is that Quinn is losing 4 armor, but aside from that, it doesn't really mean much. The passive damage being nerfed by 5 doesn't mean anything, because like when Quinn is roaming around, Quinn is going to just insta-kill whoever she finds, losing, and she's only going to proc her passive maybe once or twice on that person, so losing 5 or 10 damage, it doesn't really mean too much. It's more so a nerf to the laning phase, where you would be proccing your passive quite a bit against your opponent. Still, though, the passive nerf doesn't really mean anything. The armor nerf is more important because that means it's a lot easier to kill her now. Yeah. Next on the list, Syndra. This is probably one of the biggest things on this patch notes, on this patch in general, aside from the fizz, for when it comes to champion changes. Syndra getting a buff to her Q damage, 20 extra damage rank 1. This is insane. This is an ability that she spams a lot when she's like fighting you and whatnot, so she's gonna be seeing a pretty significant jump in win rate right now, especially because, like I keep saying, this meta is centered around early game. So as a result, having more damage at the early stage of the game is going to make a really big difference in going into like the mid game and whatnot. So Syndra, really good buff, and just be careful of her. And if you play Syndra, good for you. Yeah, just 20 extra damage is insane on her Q. So she's going to be a lot better this patch. Thresh, yeah, the changes that they made to Thresh this patch are stupid, and they mean absolutely nothing. They made it so that his W is lower cooldown later on, and they made it so that his play is does more damage now for the auto attack buff that it gives. These changes don't mean anything, and honestly, I felt like Thresh was in a fine position as he was. I think he was sitting at like a 48.5 or 49% win rate, which is fine. And whenever I play him, I perform really well. So I don't know. I just feel like if you wanted to buff Thresh, that these were not the buffs to give him. Like I just feel like these buffs are stupid. Okay. These changes though to supports do actually matter. So the base items for supports now cost an extra 50 gold, meaning that supports can no longer start with refillable pots, and supports now only have 2 health potions instead of 3. So this essentially means that supports have a 150 less health during the laning phase. What this can mean is that this could cause a meta shift in the bot lane where we see more and more heavy poke lanes in the bot lane. We already see Misfortunes in the bot lane a lot, and Lethality, Comet, Varus is in the bot lane a lot. We see Brand and Zyra and Vel'Koz a lot already in the bot lane. So this change can definitely help them out quite a bit, especially with the meta being centered around early game. If you can, poke someone out of laning phase and get the first tower, that can make a big difference in whether or not you win the game. So yeah, this is definitely going to help just really aggressive poke lanes. A way to counter poke lanes, by the way, and just, I guess, to kind of counter this change, get biscuits. Just take biscuits in your runes, and if you want even more sustain, take Time Warp Tonic. Taking biscuits and Time Warp Tonic is something I've been doing even before this patch came out, and it's really good. I've been taking it literally against like every single lane I've been going up against, and it's insane how much damage, or it's insane how much sustain that you have with this. And biscuits in general are just amazing. The extra mana in lane is just the best thing ever. But yeah, so you can potentially expect to see more poke lanes with this, and you can maybe expect to see more biscuits as a result of that. So it's not that major, but yeah, potential meta shift in the bot lane with this. Speaking of bot lane, ADC items are getting changed. Infinity Edge and Stormrazor have their cost lowered, but at the same time their damage is going to be lowered. It's to make it so that the items are easier to get for an ADC, while not completely like taking away too much power from it at the same time. So IE costs 200 less gold. The true damage on it is only 10%, 15% now. The AD is down by 10, but the build path for it is a lot easier now. It is a BF pickaxe plus gold instead of BF plus gold. This is just an easier build path, so it's not as hard for ADCs to build this. They also made it so that... Oh, they took that out. Oh, they're changing stuff off on me. They're changing stuff off on me now. Earlier it said that it was going to have an extra 50% crit damage to monsters and minions, and now it no longer says that, which is interesting. Don't know if they're going to bring that back or not. If they do bring that back, though, or I guess they wouldn't necessarily be bringing it back, it would just be putting it in there. That would be a really significant buff to taking objectives fast, taking the Baron and the Dragon faster. But it seems like they have taken that out, even though I was just looking at this page 10 minutes ago. Whatever, doesn't matter. Still, some of this stuff might look like a nerf, but overall it is a buff to help ADCs to get their items faster, so that way they can be more relevant in the game right now. Stormrazor, same treatment. The build path is a lot easier, and the total cost is down by 400 gold. The AD is down by 10, and the attack speed is down by 5%. 400 gold less. That is insane. This item I felt like was already really good to begin with, but now it's a super, super appealing first item on ADCs. This is a huge power spike for a lot of ADCs, and I think making it cost 400 less gold is ridiculous. I thought it was in a good spot before this patch, and yeah, that's pretty significant buff to it. So yeah, Essence Reaver gets an extra 5 damage. Not much to say about that. I'm going to come back to the Z items in a second. Merc Scimitar is getting the worst of the is getting the worst of these buff changes here. It's 200 less gold, but the AD is down by 15. I don't really see ADCs building Mercurial Scimitar right now. Mostly because, you know, you don't really need one unless you're going up against the Malzahar, just a team that you're really scared about being CC'd. And there's a lot of assassins running around right now, so Merc Scimitar doesn't really help you with that. The loss of 15 AD, I think, is pretty significant compared to like the other changes here. I just feel like ADCs weren't already building this item, and it's just slightly less appealing now to build it over another item. Okay, so all these Zeal items, the cost is down by 100. But I don't like the change in comparison to the other changes they have made. So, Rapid Fire, Static Shiv, and Runaan's are the ones I'm going to focus on here. They cost 2,800 gold. That's as much as what Storm Razor costs. So Riot is like, this is how I see it. If two items cost the same amount of gold, that tells me that they have the same value. I don't think Storm Razor has the same value as Rapid Fire, Static Shiv, and Runaan's. I think Storm Razor has a much greater value than those items, so I just feel like these Zeal items should cost less than Storm Razor. Or Storm Razor should cost more than the Zeal items. And I'm pretty sure most people would agree with me on that. Or at least my thinking on that. So, I mean, it's nice. Overall, it's nice that the cost is down. But I feel like from just a gameplay perspective, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Alright, so final two things on the list. Jungle items. So the anti-funneling that they put in last patch, where they made it so that if you had an uncompleted jungle item and you had the most gold on your team, lane minions give you 10 less gold. They're taking that out and they're making it so that if you have an uncompleted jungle item and you have the most minions on your team, the most CS on your team, then lane minions will give you 10 less gold. This is to make it so that you're not like super punished for getting ahead early on as a jungler. Because like there's almost never a situation as a jungler where you don't have your jungle item completed and you have the most minions on your team. That almost never happens. So yeah, that's a really good change. It still keeps in place the whole anti-funneling, but it doesn't punish snowball junglers, or it doesn't punish junglers who are snowballed off an early lead anymore. The final thing, perfect timing. It takes 2 minutes longer for it to come into effect. This is mostly a change to pro play, from what they say in the patch notes. Either way, this further helps the early game meta, and it helps assassins more, because now with perfect timing being on a longer cooldown, taking an extra 2 minutes to come online, that's an extra 2 minutes that like assassins have to make plays before the opponent gets access to stopwatch. So that's a pretty significant change here, in my opinion. And good players can make good use out of this change. They did other stuff here, took like client side and whatnot. You can have like compare stats now and analyze and stuff like that. I don't really know what to think of it because I haven't really seen it, but it's not gameplay stuff, so it doesn't like make a big difference. And yeah, that's gonna be it. The final thing here is that pool party skins are coming out. They're also coming out with chromas for those skins and previous ones. Pool Party Tarek and Pool Party Rek'Sai are getting some chromas. I really like the Pool Party Rek'Sai chromas. And Zoe is my girl, so definitely gonna get her skin. But these skins look great. I like it when they come out with chromas. I'm a big fan of chromas. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for the patch. Overall, aside from like the Akali rework, I'm pretty happy with the changes that they've done here. And even as support main with me getting one less health potion laning phase, the reasoning that they gave behind it, I'm fine with. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed, remember to like and subscribe, and catch me streaming on Twitch. I stream every night, Monday through Friday, starting at 7:30 Eastern Time. And yeah, just come on by, check me out. I'm always carrying my team from support, and I'm always down to chit chat and give advice to people in my chat. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.